focus on hitting your goals in every area of your business. Remember, the universe rewards the bold. A leader has to take the risks. So anyways, I am just so happy to meet you and just excited about our little conversation today that we're going to have. And I just, so where do you live? Where are you from?
I'm in Los Angeles. I'm from New Hampshire, but I live in Los Angeles.
Okay. So you're literally down the street from me. You don't realize I'm in Rancho Cucamonga.
Oh, see, I'm still so new. I don't know.
You don't even know where Rancho Cucamonga is.
No,
Okay.
but I've heard of it like a lot. I just don't know
Okay.
where on the map it is.
Gotcha. Well, Rancho Cucamonga is, we are between LA and San Diego, I guess you could say. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So
Are
I'm
you
about an
near-
hour from LA and about an hour from San Diego.
Okay. Is that like near Temecula?
It's north of Temecula.
Oh, okay.
So if you took the 210, you know where the 210 is? Okay. Anyway, well, if you took the 10 freeway, it's one of those. So, when'd you move? When'd you move here from New Hampshire?
So I've actually been out here for 7 years now.
Oh my goodness!
But I've
you got to get out more.
Yeah, I've just been in and around LA, and I mean I've gone down to San Diego a couple times, but I have not spent much time in between, unless it's like I'm with friends in Newport or something. So I know LA well enough now, still learning my barriers when it gets south of there.
Okay. Well, it is exciting to have you on Wealth on the Beach podcast today. I've been waiting for this for a very long time. I see all of your incredible content on social media, and you're building an incredible brand. You're building an incredible business. You are the health queen of LA. Okay. The health queen. That's what I'm going to call you. And so as we kind of, and look, this is an opportunity for you to share with my audience a little bit about, how we can, make our lives a little bit better, and how we can, kind of get into that health. We all want to be healthier, right? I mean, who doesn't want to be healthier? Who doesn't want to have a better body, a better health, a better, more energy? Who doesn't want that? So, we're going to get all into that today. But I want to first start off with what's Brave for Bailey? I wanted to know what is that actually?
So Bailey is my youngest brother, and he passed away by suicide 2 years ago. And so I went through a healing journey, and because healing is a journey, it's not a destination. And through that journey, it was my understanding through my experience, and I'm big on research. I'm big on understanding. And when you're met face to face with something that you just don't understand and you can't wrap your head around, it's not only debilitating, but it was addicting. And so I dove into research. I dove into understanding how could someone get to this point, and truly understanding emotional health. And within that, I came to the conclusion that bravery is when you meet your grief face to face. That is bravery. And taking action towards healing, that is bravery. And so I made it my mission, which my younger brother was always my mission. We come from very humble beginnings. We were not in any sort of great circumstances growing up ever. And I always joke that, he was my brother, but he was also like my son, because I took care of my two younger brothers my entire youth. And he was one of my friends. I could laugh and wrap my arms around him. He was so sweet. And so when I lost him, it was obviously a big loss. And so I made it my mission. I promised him that, in his honor, that I would really truly understand emotional health and well-being. And he lived with depression, he lived with anxiety, he lived with substance abuse, he lived with all of that, all these battles that are so common that I find that I didn't understand. I certainly didn't understand. And so Brave Bailey was born out of my promise to him that I would honor his life and his legacy by sharing with people the importance of our emotional health and the impact it takes on our overall health and well-being.
And so when you look back at, his situation, and I mean, that's just absolute tragedy that anybody could get to that point, right? And so
Yeah.
looking back, I mean, could you honestly, like if somebody was going through the stuff that you're talking about right now, I mean, how do you change that? I mean, what would you do differently today than maybe you did before?
That's a great question. And first, I should say, and if anyone's listening who's lost someone, which if you haven't yet, you will, we're all going to experience that. And it's the worst thing to go through, but that is life. And so that's another thing is I always want to prepare people with tools that they have in their toolbox to use when life hits the fan, because it will. And one of the tools that you have to know is you can't save someone. So no matter how many, I felt regret, I felt shame, which in grief, there is no room for those emotions because you have no harmful intent or ill will on that person. You're just wishing you could change the situation. And so if you're feeling grief or shame, allow yourself to relieve yourself of those because nothing is your fault. And you have to understand that you can't save anyone. All we can do is be there for them. And what that looks like, to answer your question, is choosing empathy over sympathy. Oftentimes when someone is struggling or going through something, we want to be sympathetic. We offer, and I'm strong in my faith. I'm a woman of faith, and I believe prayer is powerful, and I have seen it work. But you got to do more than pray. you gotta empathetically be there and take action for them where they can feel it. And I always use the analogy, and this is a personal experience of mine, that sympathy is if you're getting together with your family at Thanksgiving and everyone's sitting around, it's the first Thanksgiving after you lost someone, or it's just a really, really tough season of life you're going through. And the whole family's sitting around the table, and you kind of separate and you go in the den and you're sitting on the couch, quiet room. Sympathy is someone at the table inviting, oh, just come sit with us. You don't have to be alone. Come sit with us. Come sit with us. That's sympathy. Excuse me. Excuse me. Empathy is that person getting up and going to sit with you in the den and not saying a word. Empathy is a physical presence. It's just a tangible love. It's not expecting anything at all from that person. It's just being there. It's not knowing all the words to say or knowing all the actions to take. Again, it's just being there. Empathy can be making dinner and bringing it to that person. It can be sending them a Grubhub gift card so they can order food because they're probably not wanting to make any food and they're not eating because they don't want to make food. Empathy is all of these actions that we can take to be there for people. And I think the more that we learn and understand that we need to choose empathy over sympathy, the more people will feel loved. And I think the less people will get to these places where they feel worthless.
And that's kind of my, all I keep thinking right now. I mean, this is a very interesting topic, and I appreciate you sharing it with our audience, because I don't think I've ever had this conversation in 150 episodes. So this is an important, especially throughout this last couple of years. Suicide rate has shot up like crazy because people are lonely. Mm-hmm. And you're right. People are probably not coming to sit with them and just being with them and showing empathy to whatever they're feeling, and all those feelings it's kind of giving me the chills even talking about it right now. It's kind of, it's pretty wild because, man, there's so many people that their lives right now, they're feeling things, and look, it's chemical too, right? I'm sure you did a lot of homework. It's chemical too. It might not be something that you did to them or they got mad at or they just felt it's a chemical reaction. Can you maybe explain to us like some of the things that people go through, and maybe signs also that if we're witnessing this with someone that maybe we can kind of know, or maybe you could give us a couple of ideas that we can, maybe be with those people a little bit more empathetically?
Yeah, absolutely. So the second someone starts to withdraw, you're not hearing from them a lot. They're not getting out of the house. They're not able to do common things like shower. They're not wanting cleanliness. They don't care for it. They're not cleaning their place of living where they call home. They're not necessarily keeping that clean. If they're not sleeping, there are a number of signs. If you just Google signs of depression or mental illness, or I don't want to single out depression, but that is one of the most common ones, as well as anxiety. There are a number of things you can look for, but I think instead of getting distracted with looking from our people, I think we're better off at just understanding actions we can take to care and being intentional about taking those actions. It's like instead of waiting to take care of ourselves until we get sick, let's start taking care of ourselves ahead of time so we don't get sick. And I think we have to apply that same life rule to the people we care about that are around us, that we surround ourselves with. And if you're feeling overwhelmed and there's too many people, well, ask yourself, why is there so many people? Who can I be intentional about giving my love and energy to right now? As opposed to trying to fix the whole world. Like just let's start with fixing our family. Let's start with loving our family first and showing them how that looks. And so then they can go out and do that with their families and their circles.
Well said. Well said. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And so let's what turned you on to health, man? I mean, how did you get on this health kick, and where did that come from, and why are you so passionate about that subject?
Yeah, so that's another great question. So I grew up an athlete my entire life. And as I mentioned earlier, I come from a broken home and really humble beginnings. So sports was something that I felt at home with, between my teams and my coaches, and living in a super small town in the middle of nowhere, New Hampshire. And so
What'd you play, by the way? Sorry to interrupt you, but what'd you play?
Yeah, so I ran track and field, and I played field hockey.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got a runner. I don't want to say I wasn't talented. I do have talent, but I wasn't coordinated. So I chose the sport, but I didn't have anything coming at me. I just had to see that line, just go cross it. Yeah.
Run, Forrest, run.
Yeah, my coach would always say, "Run fast, turn left." That's it.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, so I grew up an athlete, and I think just the emotional stability, the structure, the systems, these are all important things that I was lacking in a family unit that I was finding in sports. And I saw how they affected my overall health and mood and well-being. And I've always been complimented on my ability to overcome obstacles and just things that happened in life. And so I attribute that to my mental well-being and my health, and that came from sports. So I really just was always attracted to that lifestyle. And now in my adult life and going through my own healing journey, I've recognized and realized how much our emotional health is connected to our mental health, which is connected to our physical health. No one is more important than the other. They're all equally important, and we need to be taking care of ourselves and maintaining a balance between those. And so that's really where my brand kind of stemmed from, and my attraction to health and wellness comes from.
All right. Well, we would be remiss if we didn't get some sort of healthy habit hack from you. So what's your healthy habit hack that you want to share with us today?
Oh goodness, just one?
Or 12. It's up to you.
If you want 12, you can go to my Instagram. They're slowly seeping out on there. But one healthy habit hack, I would say, and this is one that I'm practicing, is don't reach for your phone first thing in the morning. Don't. I think we need to get into the habit of creating before we get to a point where we're like ingesting. And that's all we're really doing, is ingesting everything that comes at us from the screens, from other people, from our dog that's jumping on us that needs something. Like, everyone wants something from us. So instead of everyone else wanting something free, give yourself a minute and understand what you want from yourself. And that could be as simple as in the mornings I'm practicing. I have a whole morning routine, but before I go into that morning routine, I'm practicing asking myself, how do I feel today? Because I'm prompted in my morning routine, but I'm also given a list of emotions. And so oftentimes I'll just select one. But there's power in just like really feeling it for yourself. And it's 2 seconds. Like, hey, how do I feel today? Well, my lower back's pretty sore. I lifted heavy yesterday. I'm feeling a little tired. I didn't get as much sleep. But, I'm excited. It's going to be a good day. So just really giving yourself 2 to 3 seconds to recognize how you feel and what you want from your day before diving into everyone else wanting something from you and diving into the phone, emails, the texts, Instagram, all of it. Just take 4 seconds to yourself in the morning.
I love that. That's fantastic. So well said. I appreciate you sharing that with us. And so look, I know you're in a business that allows you to build and to grow and to expand. And I guess another word for that business would be multi-level marketing or something like that, or network marketing, a lot of different names you can call it. Why did you choose that model versus just going and getting a job somewhere?
Well, for a couple different reasons. So the first is because I sort of fell into the industry and the company that I'm with by way of a family member. And I don't believe in coincidences. I believe it is the very best company for me. And I was not sure about that when I got into it. I was questioning everything. However, I ended up losing my brother 10 days after registering. And so I didn't do anything with it for the first couple months. Obviously, I was just focusing on healing. And then when I got bearings, I got my bearings. I realized, I would have rather honored my brother in the way that I could have afforded to, and not in the way that he should have been honored, and not just the way I could have afforded to. My family spread out all across the country, and in that, you never want to have to look at a price tag. It was just not what I wanted to do. And I wanted to be able to take care of all of my family members and not have to, I didn't want there to be any sacrifice given the circumstance that we were navigating through. And that stuck out to me as number one, especially because I'm 3,000 miles away from every single family member. So that's really hard. So being able to afford the lifestyle that I want, and not just the lifestyle that I want, but being prepared for impact, because impact does happen, and we never know when it will happen. And that could be any sort of impact. For example, mine was a loss of a loved one, but it could be a loss of a job. It could be a global pandemic. We saw a lot of that. It could be any impact. And so that would be my second reason, was preparation for just a plan B. And my third was I just understood how I understand compound and building leverage between time and financials. And this, to me, this structure was a no-brainer to be able to do that. And did I grow up wanting to be in multi-level marketing? No. But it's offering me the opportunity to be able to now start a nonprofit that's on my heart because of my life experiences. And so to be able to build something that puts me in a position where I can live out my passions and impact people in the exact way that I want, like, why would you not? So, and it's perfect because, again, I sort of fell into this company, but I think that's the biggest thing. Like, I'm an advocate for all multi-level marketing, but the biggest thing is finding the vehicle that's perfect for you. Like, if you're shopping in a car lot, if you want a Mercedes, then don't go looking at like Toyota or Hyundai, because you know what you like and those are your values. Stick to your values and find the vehicle that matches those values, and then work that and use that, and then build whatever you want from that. And so those are some of the reasons why I got into that industry and why I continue to work it, because it's getting me to where I want to be, really.
Yeah. I mean, and I think it is a perfect model, really. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the only reason why you said in the beginning, you're like, well, I never thought I was going to be in multi-level marketing. The only reason why is because teachers generally don't do multi-level marketing. So,
Yeah.
and so they never taught you to do multi-level marketing. It's not like they taught you leverage in school. It's not like in school they said, hey, let's talk today about leverage. Let's talk today about business. Let's talk today about building massive passive income. Did any teacher ever teach you that? No, of course not. So
Nope.
People like you or me that got involved in the leverage business, we could call it, people like us, we kind of fell into it because it was just a random person that said, hey, come check out this presentation. And then so we went and saw it and we went, holy shit, this is unbelievable, man. How come nobody ever taught us this shit before, right? So that's what's beautiful about it. I mean, so what do you, I mean, can anybody make any money in these type of bit? I mean, could you make good money? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
You can retire in 3 years if you want.
Okay. How is that possible? How is that possible?
I think first you have to have an open mind. You and we had an open mind. Someone sat there and they shared information, and look at how much information we take in on a daily basis. You have to just have an open mind and say, if this is working for that person, like, first of all, do I understand how it works? Second of all, do I think that I'm capable of doing that? Well, yes. At the end of the day, are you capable of talking to other people? I would hope so. Because, and that's honestly, that's all it is just sharing with other people. And one of the biggest things is not attaching yourself to the outcome, but attaching yourself to the action, right? And so again, like, it kind of ties back to where we're talking about taking empathy over sympathy. Attach yourself to the action of taking empathy to love the people around you instead of the results. But to get back into the multi-level marketing and how to earn from it, you just have to have an open mind and be willing to work. If you're willing to if you don't know your compensation plan, learn your compensation plan. If you don't know the product range, learn the product range. I always share with business partners, the more you attach yourself to my hip, like the more you attach yourself to my hip and I'm just like bouncing you on my hip, answering all your questions, the sooner you will be in my position and you will have people that you're teaching. And ultimately that's, it's funny you say teachers don't teach us about network marketing or multi-level marketing. It's so true. But some of the best people in our industry are teachers, because you gotta teach people how to teach. Ultimately, that's where the leverage and the compounding comes from. I mean, network marketing or multi-level marketing. And that's the hilarious thing is I studied marketing in high school. And that was my major. And so, it's just moving a product from manufacturer to consumer. Multi-level is just the system and the structure behind it. So we learn about retail businesses in college, and we learn about direct sales, but we don't learn about multi-level. And so it's just learning to understand that and applying it, having an open mind and a willingness to take action and to learn. And once you are able to learn, now you learn how to teach people, and then you apply that action to teach people. And that's where you begin to grow and you begin to earn.
People say, isn't this like a pyramid or something like that? I mean, isn't it like a pyramid thing? Isn't it a scam? So what do you say to people that tell you stuff like that?
I would say, well, first of all, pyramid schemes went out in the 80s. They're now illegal. Second of all, pyramid schemes, you weren't moving product. So we are in marketing. We have to move a product from manufacturer to consumer. If we're not doing that, then we're not marketing. We're just networking. And I'm not going to pay you to just network. Anyone can just go out to just network. But we get we earn commissions on moving products and teaching other people how to move those products. And so when people always say, it's a pyramid scheme, it's fake. Well, I counter and I say, actually it can be a pyramid, but it's an upside down pyramid. Everyone gets in with the same, everyone per company, of course, the companies will all differ, but everyone per company gets in at the same registration price, the same skill level, not knowing anything about it. And then it's up to them what level they want to progress. And you have hundreds and some companies, thousands and tens of thousands of people all at the top level, but everyone with that same point, and then you can work your. Someone tells me it's a pyramid scheme. Another fun thing is to ask them, what do you think a pyramid scheme is? And they can never answer. Well, it's where one person makes all the money. And I'm like, well, I make money and I have business partners that also make money. So is that a pyramid?
Well, it's interesting, and I'm actually just finishing my book. It's called Wealth on the Beach, and it'll be out in a couple of months. And I spend just an enormous amount of time explaining, the franchise model. I explain real estate brokerage, the way that they operate. And, look, even the law enforcement agencies all are, have to do with the captain at the top. And then, there's the sergeants, and then there's the, people out in the field. I mean, every business has some sort of structure that looks like a pyramid. And so, I don't know, for me, I was very excited because I figured, and again, I'm not the smartest person. I don't have the highest IQ, but I kind of thought about it. And I said, well, wait a minute. In that system, in corporate America system, I'll never get to the top. I'll never be CEO at the top. I'll never make the big money. And again, I don't know that I'll ever get to the top of my company or the top of any structure for that matter, but at least I have a chance in one. Versus corporate America, I have no chance. It's who you know, it's the education that you have, it's who you're connecting with. I'll never have that opportunity to be the CEO of that company. But this opportunity, I could go as far as I want. I could recruit as many people that I want.
Yeah.
I could expand wherever I want. It's unlimited amounts of income. And the best part about it is I have no boss. So if I decide that I don't want to work anymore, if I just decide, okay, I don't want to work today, just today, I don't want to work, don't want to do anything, I have that choice every single day of my life. And so to me, it's a no-brainer. And I think that's why the education system needs to be overhauled without a doubt. We need to make sure that, and so I don't know, what do you think about the education system today?
Oh man, that's a big question. I think if we're going to teach about business, we need to teach about all business structures. I think we also, and this is just my personal experience as well, we need to teach individuals how to properly prepare for life. And I think learning about a singular industry isn't always the best case. Don't get me wrong, you should have a major, you should pursue your passion, absolutely. But I think there's some standards that we need to be meeting in terms of education on communication, education on sales. Everyone should be taught education on sales because everything in life is a sale, like everything. And it should be a part of every single major and not just sales. And so I think there needs to be some adjustments, and we got to go back to making sure that everyone gets their ones and twos, and maybe not make it tens of thousands of dollars. I personally, and I will always say this, I believe college stands for, that super expensive piece of paper that I have says that I started something and I finished it. And I value my time there. I don't regret it. And I would recommend it to anyone one. But some of the biggest lessons that I learned in my were life skills and how to like hold a conversation new and say and dive into a new environment, a new community. So all of these basic life skills on in addition to, and I learned about communication and sports journalism, like that my major, you know, like, and I learned some of that too, which is fun. But for sure, I think it just needs to be like learning the ones and twos and make it versatile and really put people, you know, really put people in action with what they're doing. Also, because you get so many people who will go to school for one thing and they find out, well, I actually don't want to do this. No, I'm not feeling this right now. I'm not digging the 12 to 14-hour days, 4 to 5 days a week, only living for the weekends, one paid vacation, you know, jumping from corporate office job to another corporate office job. So, I mean, giving people that life experience to truly understand, hey, this is what you're studying. This is what this industry is. Is this how you want to live your life?
And don't forget that, you know, in college, you know, getting wasted at that frat party. I mean, how important is that? I mean, how could you miss that experience? I love Gary V, how he talks about education, because I am, everybody knows I am completely against traditional college for most people. Now,
Yeah.
of course, if you want to be a doctor, I mean, come on, everybody knows that already. I mean, there's certain things that you need from college. But most people don't need college in what they're trying to accomplish in their life. And I love the way Gary V talks about it. He's like, you know, take that 50,000 a year and go experience life, go on trips, go to networking events, go to seminars, go build a YouTube channel, go learn marketing on how to market online. Like, go spend the money to market online. Go pay for sponsored ads. Go pay for somebody to build you a funnel and generate massive amounts of revenue or massive amounts of leads that turn into revenue. Like, how come we're not learning that shit or spending our money to buy those things or to pay people to do those things for us? What are we doing? It's totally the time value of money. Another really great book, it's called My Personal MBA. And the guy talks about how today, in today's world, and I don't know how old you are, but how long ago you did go to college, but he talks about how in today's world, everything that you ever wanted to learn, you can learn on YouTube. You can learn on the internet. Matter of fact, you could actually go and watch college classes at Harvard if you want to, and sit there and watch Harvard classes on the internet for free.
Oh my, I didn't know the Harvard one. That is
yes. And so to me, and again, hopefully my audience is not like, Daniel's talking about it again. He's saying it again. He's telling everybody don't go to college again. But I just feel like, look, if you don't know why you're going to college, you probably shouldn't be going to college. If you have a major and that major needs college, go, of course, but don't waste the money for networking, right? Don't waste the money just to meet new people, because I got a lot of places I could show you how to network. I got a lot that are way cheaper than 80 grand a year. I promise you that. So anyways, we are getting down to the wire here, and I think our Wi-Fi is completely dying today. So I don't know, I think the world is coming to an end because our Wi-Fi is really acting up today. And so I'm gonna get us out of this Wi-Fi mess here, and I want you to tell us a little bit about how we can get a hold of you and what value that you maybe can bring to some people out there that are watching or listening.
Oh, I just need you to repeat the question one more time.
Okay, yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, this is crazy. Okay, so yeah, I just want you to kind of explain a little bit about how we can get a hold of you, how we can connect with you, the people that are watching and listening.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. So you can always find me on Instagram. I'm from the generation where social media was born while I was in college. So naturally became obsessed with it. So I'm always on the gram, and it's just my name. So underscore Brianna, Brianna, Fattal, Fattal. Always on Instagram. I'm minimally on Facebook, or my email. I'm always taking emails as well, which again is my name, Brianna Fattal, spelled the same way, at gmail.com.
Well, we really appreciate you hanging with us today. And I know the people that are listening or watching right now, they're going to want to connect with you, and they're going to want to say hello. And I always ask my audience, look, I mean, if you gain some value from today, or you'd like to reach out to Brianna for whatever reason, just, send her a little message. Just say, hey, I heard you on Daniel Alonzo's Wealth on the Beach podcast. I would love that. She's going to connect with you. She's going to talk with you. She's going to answer your questions. She's going to, who knows, maybe you'll be hanging out with Brianna in one of her businesses one of these days. You never know. She's always looking for great people. If you're ever thinking about going into the health space, have a conversation with her. And by the way, I mean, I don't know if you'd like to mention the company or not, but I know it's Arabon. And by the way, I do the little fizzes all the time. So I do the shake stuff. Oh, I do the shake stuff. I do the fizzes. I mean, that's my coffee, by the way. Okay. So my coffee, yes. I mean, if I'm not drinking coffee, it's always a fizz. I mean, that's just the way I roll. But I love your stuff, and I love the product. And so if you're interested in getting healthy like me, because I'm very healthy, then contact Brianna, because she probably will be able to set you up with some of the stuff that I'm currently on today. All right. So love you guys. I appreciate you watching and listening today with us. Make sure that you continue to dream bigger than ever. Get after it. Like today, get after it. But most importantly, do it now. God bless you. We will see you at the top.